All right, y'all, welcome back. I think, at least depending on how the episodes are going to go, to Pathfinder. Now, for me, it has been an awfully long time since I recorded. I actually had a ton of footage from all the recording I'd done, so I haven't had to record in a bit because I've been so busy. But with that, the Enhanced Edition has actually come out, and with it, some really cool things. So, like, for instance, if you look at my bar down here, Kian now pops in and out, so he doesn't actually have to take a slot if I don't want him to, which is really nice. And on my stream version of this game, everybody has a pet because we went the crazy, like, basically it's a zoo kind of thing, and so we've kind of needed that tidying. It's super nice. But if you were wondering what this white little bar is at the bottom, it's in fact that. Now, if I remember correctly, we've got people to run around and talk to. So Nenio is here. I guess we'll start with Nenio. I hope we meet Daskari and Baphomet soon. The old elf smiles when he hears your footsteps. Allow me to congratulate you on your victory and on acquiring mythical powers capable of casting down the strongest of demons. I got the page you were looking for from Greg Garrison. The storyteller carefully takes the pages from your hands. His fingers touch the ancient letters gently, examining them lightly, following their lines. I see myself. Young, energetic, able to see. Oh gods. Have I found the key to my past? Finally, I will find out what my own mind has been hiding from me. The elf's expression becomes withdrawn. Wrinkles on his face soften. Thank you, Abby, and please follow me to my story. Let us embark on this journey together. The storyteller inhales sharply a few times and begins his story. They're leaving. The people of Kionin faced the coming earthfall and admitted that they were incapable of handling this disaster. Proud rulers, artful crafters, brave warriors, wise mages, and skilled healers. All of them hurried to the gate to Sovirian, looking around fearfully. A clean, safe world is waiting for them there. My people decided not to fight for glory, and I'm ashamed. I'm sorry for them. Their hearts wavered in the face of a catastrophe, but my will is strong. I am staying. My kinfolk are looking at me angrily. How dare I diminish their decision with my recklessness? My choice makes them cowards, traitors of their own home. One of them, my former mentor, looks at me bitterly. He hands me a neat notebook with the tree bark cover, in case you change your mind. With a heavy sigh, he returns to the line of those departing. Forgive me, brothers and sisters. I watch the gate of Sovirian stone close, separating me from them. It's time for me to go too. I open my master's notebook. These are his notes about traveling between worlds. In case you change your mind, he hopes the burden I shoulder voluntarily will be too much. I'll lose heart and find my way. That will never happen. My mouth set stubbornly. I tear my master's notebook to pieces, and I use my forced pride as a shield against my fear of what is to come. I think that this is really interesting, and it speaks volumes of his character, where he did the right thing. He stayed behind. He tried to fix this. He didn't want to run away. He wanted to deal with this head on. And because of that, his people hated him in the end, because not because they thought he was doing something foolish, or that what he was doing wasn't a worthy cause or anything like that. It was because what he was doing made them look like cowards and traitors. And I think that that's a really interesting way to show the situation. Why did they decide to flee and not fight? His lips purse with disdain. They're afraid to lose what they have. They were rulers, long-lived and powerful. They valued their lives and sunshine too much to enter the fight with the aftermath of Earthfall. I don't know if we've talked about Earthfall, but Earthfall is the name given to the cataclysmic event in which a shower of meteorites impacted Glorian in -529-3. It resulted in the destruction of the human empires of Thassalon and Asland, which were consumed by the earthquakes and massive tidal waves and the creation of the Inner Sea. The cloud of dust thrown up by Earthfall's impact settled in Glorian's upper atmosphere and blotted out the sun for 1,000 years, creating the Age of Darkness. So that's what they were running from, basically. So if your mentor is a mage, you must be one too, right? Yes, I'm an archmage, and this title is well deserved. I have acquired delicate mastery and succeeded in many areas of magic. Curiosity has always pushed me towards new knowledge since the first day of my apprenticeship. So what is the Sovirian stone? A magnificent crystal bent into an arch by a mighty hand of an ancient divine creator. Our great gate to the other world. It breathes power. It dreams of eternity. Why are you angry at them? I spent many hundreds of years in Kionin, which, by the way, is the homeland of the elven race on Golarion. It was completely evacuated by the elves before the fall of Starstone. They only recently, by elven standards, returned to Golarion to reclaim their ancient homeland and have become an isolationist realm, allowing few non-elven visitors into their mist-shrouded capital. I've always admired the way my kinfolk cared for the forest that was our home, but the rest of the world seemed to mean nothing to them. I love Golarion, all its places, all the forms it manifests in. I traveled widely and then came home and told my kinfolk about my travels, but they weren't interested. They only cared about Kionin. Their lack of desire to hear about the wider world makes me sad and angry. So what happened next? Earthfall happened at night. I'm standing at the top of my tower, many miles to the north of Kionin, and I see a blaze far in the south. I hear a horrendous rumble. The air is groaning, giving way to a huge rock rushing down on my world, and then a blow. Vibration that penetrates everything, reaching down into the bowels of Golarion and up to the vault of the sky. Crunching bones, blood from burst vessels filling my eyes with darkness. Drowning in timelessness along with countless denizens of Golarion. Never before have we been so united in our feelings. When I come round, I see darkness remains. My first terrible thought, I'm blind, but no. Little by little, I begin to see the stone wall. I'm alive, but why is it so dark? The answer is quick. The smell of ash everywhere. The great burnt sacrifice filled the air with incinerated particles of what was recently the continent of Aslant. Great clouds of ash covered the sky, cutting us off from sun and moon, dooming us to dusk at day and complete darkness at night. My heart sinks with fear. Treacherous thoughts fill my mind. Why did I stay? Why didn't I run like everyone else when I had the chance? I clench my teeth and stand up to watch Earthfall, proudly, like the last Archmage of Kionin should. Will my world really perish like this? Will I perish? No, that will never happen. I am still alive and I can fight Earthfall in the darkness, not run from it in a blind panic like my kinfolk and my cowardly teacher. But what can I do? I will not stop the disaster. I will hardly be able to save empires from the destruction. What can I do? I am but one Archmage, powerful and weak at the same time. So what was the tower you mentioned? It's my retreat to the north of Kionin, my home away from home, my observatory. From its top, I watch the stars, and when they correctly aligned, the other worlds as well. Here in the northern wastelands, I found the highest mountain and built a tower on top of it. On clear days, I could see the mist over the lake of mists and vales in the east. That's how high up I was. So I want to hear his definition of Earthfall, because we read the lore version, but what's his? A disaster of untold proportions. An unborn planet dropped on Golarion by blind fate or someone's evil will. A blow so strong, the continent of Aslant is destroyed within moments and turned to ashes, wiped off the face of Golarion. In this burnt sacrifice, clouds of ash and dust are born, stealing our sun. Without the warmth of our star, the air cools, the soil is barren. Dark creatures crawl out of their lair to rule. And the most frightening thing? Without the sun, all hope dies in the heart. This is the age of darkness. So what are you going to do next? I don't know. I need to think. My opponent, Earthfall, is much stronger than me. Without noticing, the storyteller raises his voice to a shout. It's merciless. It does not simply destroy life. It kills an era, ending the greatness of Golarion civilizations. They will sink into oblivion, be forgotten as if they never existed. I need to think. The elf suddenly winces and is silent for a moment as he calms his heavy breathing. Forgive me. I shouldn't have raised my voice. This story was much harder than many before it, most likely because I played the main role in it. It's so strange to see myself, feel the emotions tearing me up inside, those that I felt a long time ago, and not remember them. It's like I split. I became both the storyteller and the main character. Too bad the story ended at that moment. Please, if you find other pages covered with ancient elven writings on your travel, bring them to me. I might be able to shed some light on my past, and we'll find out how my story ended, perhaps even why I forgot. Thank you. Thank you for helping me remember them. Okay, so we will come back to this 100%. I actually think the storyteller is probably one of the more interesting characters in the game. I very much want to see more of what he has to say. Daeran! Ah, there you are, you dashing troublemaker, you. He flashes you a self-satisfied smile. Our short acquaintance is coming to an end. Very soon, you will depart on your crusade, where you will scrape by on horrible rations, struggle vainly to fall asleep amidst snoring soldiers, be rudely awoken by the freezing cold, and have to look upon the dour faces of self-righteous prigs before you finally perish in the maw of some demon. I have journey ahead of me, too. I've rented a sailboat in the south. I have also hired an excellent chef and a host of other entertainment. Well, to each their own. Daeran pauses and then suddenly adds in a more serious voice. You know, I am genuinely sad to see you go. If it sounds like mockery, forgive me. I cannot switch off my venom gland on a whim, you see, but you intrigue me. If only we could have spent a little more time together, but of course, not under these conditions. Let the Crusaders and the demons have each other. With any luck, they'll take this entire sanctimonious spectacle with them. So, I guess this is, a way to, like, turn them down on the romance? Interesting. I always pick the, you know, I would have liked it if you stayed. You intrigue me too. Because that's, he does. He so does. Remember, Abby. Handsome tiefling within your grasp. I'll be blunt. You don't intrigue me, not in the way you obviously had in mind, but you are a valuable companion. You could have stayed in my party. If you feel you don't belong here, go. No. He gotta stay. Who, me? We're in this in this army. You must be joking. Of course I won't stay. Who in their right mind would trade a luxurious, carefree life for this crusade? I clicked that non-Daeran flirting option very quickly. I think it's because we're definitely like, I don't want to say we're almost done on stream, but we're definitely making some headway. So that means I am closer to being able to like restart, not necessarily on stream, but I can't necessarily have more than 2 playthroughs of this game going at once. I think it would hurt my brain. But yeah, so that's probably why I'm a little bit more okay with not flirting with Daeran right this minute. Plus, I want to know what we're going to get for Season 2 DLCs. They haven't announced anything yet, at least at the time of recording this. By the time this gets posted, who knows? But at the time of recording this, they haven't. So I'm very, very, very curious to see if we get another, like, a Kingmaker situation where we got an additional companion / the romance option. I'd really like another one of those, or expanded stuff on like current characters. So I'm like almost hopeful that like current companion romances get expanded even more, so it'd be worth like a full other playthrough on stream or privately or both. In any case, I intend to wait until the army departs. I do love a good send-off, especially when it is I who is staying and someone else who is heading off to meet a dreary, hopeless end. Sometimes it does one good to ruminate on the unfairness of life. Well then, farewell, Commander. Just assume I shall be your most precious memory on this most disgusting and exhausting road to the pointless slaughter of battle. Or if not the most precious memory, then at least the most stirring. He smirks instantly before losing all interest in you. Or at least he pretends to. You can't fool me, Daeran. I know you're gonna miss me. Well, Jeff! Do you know that the queen does to people who keep her waiting? I don't, but I know better than to find out. Orgus, you're here? Queen is expecting you. Yeah, well, she can wait. I got things to do! I talked to Grandma Gretlin. Yay! Grandma. The music changes too! Oh my gosh! This is so good! I love Grandma Gretlin. A well-dressed old dwarf is lecturing a motley company, shaking her ladle at them belligerently. Noticing you, she flings up her hands. Good afternoon, your commanderness. Do you remember us? We're the crew from the next door theater company. The one you saved in Canabris back when you weren't your commanderness yet. As you can see, we've come on the campaign with you. We signed up to clean pots and mend the soldiers' clothes. Keeping up the theater is expensive, so we all have to take side jobs. But we don't stop what we're doing. We're going to put on a play about your legendary feats. Of course, the crowd scenes are difficult. We can't find the people to play the hordes of demons. We decided against using a ritual to summon real demons. Luckily, we have Master Kem. He's invented a way to solve this problem using sound. We caught a pig and some piglets who ran away from a burned-out village. The glum and husky half-orc mumble softly. We put the piglets in a box and scare them a little, and the sound they make is just like an approaching demon horde. But one of the most important questions is, of course, choosing the lead actor who will play the Great Knight Commander. We had a Barney over it, breaking a number of lances as well as a shovel, a rolling pin, and a set of back scratchers. But we just couldn't decide no matter what. Maybe you can help us. We have 2 candidates that are the most suited to the role. One will have the honor of conveying your heroism upon the stage. I'm to be played by a gnome? Not a gnome. 2 gnomes. Rumbledom and Hierophant are twins. One of them sits on the other's shoulders and puts on a long cloak so they can play a tall character. They switch places every so often, so each gets the moment of fame. And that way they each only have to learn half of the script. Cyclops? He's completely tame, believe me. Has a few issues with articulation, but what a powerful physique! We'll make him a nice costume, wash him up, brush his hair, truth be told. In our show, you mainly just make a short heroic exclamations at the fateful moment like onward, or we'll never give up, or my heart burns with courage. Lambkin can definitely handle the script. All right. You know where we're going with this. I've made my decision. The crew looks at you holding their breath. Lambkin. There was no question. If I could have a Cyclops play me, we're gonna have a Cyclops play me. Or Abby, rather. Wonderful. Sorry, we took you away from all the important things heroes and commanders do. We're off to rehearsal. I mean, first we'll wash some pots. Then we're off to rehearsal. Let's go, you lazy lumps. Don't embarrass old grandma now. I love them. I wish I could describe to you how much the next door theater is needed. In the sense that, like, every game that is serious needs some kind of lightheartedness, some kind of like break from that. You see it a lot, like Mass Effect, the original trilogy has a lot of moments like that, where everything is really heavy and big and scary and just a lot, and then you've got these like random moments that are funny and lighthearted, and they kind of break up that tension. And that then allows for the next bit of tension to be even more impactful in a way because you've kind of forgotten about it. So that's why I definitely think the theater next door, or the next door theater, is so important to this game. Okay, but Sela. A group of soldiers is talking loudly, laughing joyfully, and passing around a flask. So picture this. My sword is by the fire. There's 2 goblins about to snatch it. 3 more are digging through my tent. I'm sat in the bushes wearing just my mail shirt, wondering what the blast to do. An old mercenary taught me about the mail shirt. You can't sleep in armor, but it's not so bad in mail once you get used to it. Too bad no one told me not to go into the bushes without my sword. So what did you do? What did I do? I barked like crazy. Goblins are afraid of dogs, you know? So they all went wild and started running around. I spot my sword. They spot me. I jump over to the fire wearing nothing but my mail shirt. Grab my sword, yell in a big tough voice, "Oh, Inheritor, grant me the power to crush these filthy creatures." My sword's shining, the goblins are screaming. I jump to attack them and they fight back, but I fought them off somehow. Ever since, I never take a step without my weapon. That's some story. Hey, stop gulping, leave some for us. We've only just set off and you're already drinking? And with the queen in the camp? Stop this at once. The knights quickly snap to attention. Sela raises a flask, saying loudly, "Right you are, Commander Tyrabade, but we are drinking to the queen's health." I'm gonna... Abby has a problem with the queen, but Abby also has no problems with celebrating. So we're at an impasse here because lawful is not... No, that's not our girl. But chaotic normally, but we're not gonna sit here. We're just gonna say nothing. Allow me to remind you, Paladin, that you are in an army, not a band of mercenaries. Foolishness impairs discipline. Too much fun at camp can turn it into losses on the battlefield. With all due respect, Commander Tyrabade, I answer to the Knight Commander, not you. The fact that we're fighting together doesn't give you the right to discipline me like a sergeant disciplines a recruit. Whoa! Oh! Hi! Normally I side with Sela on this one. But I wanted to see what would happen if I... Well, hey, it's just more Abby to stay out of it. What is that? But... Okay, we'll take that. But also... That was interesting. Hey, Lan. Hey, Abby, I was trying to say the Knight Commander commands the knights really fast and I almost twisted my tongue. Oh my gosh, you're adorable. Okay. Have I talked to everybody that I should talk to? Hold on. Banner over the Citadel. Okay, I think so. This is Tyrabade's tent. There's nothing down here, right? I don't think so. Not yet. Okay. Who's ready to go give the queen some attitude? Because I sure as heck am ready to watch Abby be Abby. I started drinking water because I thought it was going to just open up right into talking to her right away, but it didn't, and that was a little weird. I apologize for the random quietness there. And the queen greets you with a stare. What is that? Literally that. She is dropped to the pompous air, which she just announced the Fifth Crusade. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She's made her move and now waits her opponent's reply. Interesting. So it's really interesting here that if you know how this game goes, you'll know where this is going. And now that I do, I'm seeing everything differently. But this is a really interesting way that they worded this. The face of the ruler of Mendev appears calm and thoughtful. She made her move and now awaits her opponent's reply. We are the opponent. Why, when she made us the leader of the Fifth Crusade, would we be the opponent? It makes you question all the other crusades that came before, all the other people she put in charge. Why did she put them in charge?
Commander, I'm satisfied with the troop review, but I do not expect they will be sufficient for the task. You will have to prove yourself a shrewd leader and hire the necessary troops with the provided funds. I have chosen a target for your campaign, and that target is Daeran, our lost outpost within the World Wound. The Sword of Valor was kept there, a banner that was once carried by Iomade herself. Our greatest relic was lost when the city fell. I should make one thing clear from the start. The Sword of Valor is no mere symbol, but a powerful weapon against demons. The holiness of the banner weakens them and robs them of one of their most dangerous abilities, teleportation. A forced march to Daeran awaits you. The Sword of Valor is kept somewhere within the Citadel. The demons probably think it's a hunting trophy. Its recovery is just as important as retaking the city itself. I hope the task is clear. I'm sending 2 specialists to help you, along with the soldiers. A historian, Nura Denduar, and a cleric, Soziel Vainik.
The queen nods to the human man and young halfling woman standing next to her.
One of the famous inquisitors of the Church of Iomade also wants to talk to you. The Honorable Leota, whom everyone calls Hawkblade.
I do not wish to keep you, Commander. The matter I must discuss with you is extremely important, but it is not directly related to the Crusade. You no doubt wish to meet your new comrades and speak with Her Majesty. Therefore, I shall leave you now, but I ask that you seek me out in the camp at your earliest convenience.
Hi! Listen, it's amazing here. It's like I'm in a ballad. There's knights in shining armor, deadly dangers, glorious feats. We are going to show those demons. I'm so tired of sitting in a library reading books about history. It's time I took part in it.
It's almost like falsely excited is how Nura's coming off.
I'm glad to help our cause, Commander. If you have some time later, I'd like to speak with you further.
You'll have plenty of time to talk. You're the Knight Commander's people now, her trusted advisors and companions. Now then, will you please leave us? Irabeth, you can go too.
Alright. When we met at Defender's Heart, my commander, let's see. Did you know that? Alright, let's cut to the chase here. Your annoyingness. Did you know that the souls of angels from heaven are confined into the wardstones?
I had guessed as much. Many angels fought alongside us in the First Crusade. Heaven was unable to mobilize its full might to aid us, but individual celestials volunteered to fight for our cause. Then one day, they all vanished, saying that they were setting off on an important mission. Not long after, Iomade's herald erected the first wardstone in Kenobris, and then the others in cities across Mendev. Even back then, I had nagging doubts, but my faith in Iomade easily assuaged them. It is for us to serve the goddess after all, not to question her works.
Okay, so here we go. You were the queen. You were the ruler of all of this. You had nagging doubts, and then you just ignored them? I had we're already dealing with such problems that I have for her. I could literally probably write a dissertation as to why Queen Galfrey frustrates me, but that means that she's an incredibly well-written character. If I only had like a lukewarm feeling about her, and not one way or the other, given that she's been the queen for now 5 crusades, and we haven't seen results, there should be feelings one way or another. There should either be woohoo, go team, or you frustrate me, blah blah, like, and kind of almost like the feelings I'm having. So the fact that she's written this well already and we're only in Act 2 is incredible. But it's the fact that she refused to question. You have to question, especially when you're the queen. You're in charge of people's lives. How would you? Why?
In any case, I am glad you did not allow the demons to commit sacrilege and gain control over the wardstone in Canopris. We might have lost one of the wardstones, but the chain is still standing.
Mm-hmm. I'm not telling her this. There are some things that I don't think she needs to know, and Abby's gonna keep as much as she possibly can close to her. And I don't think that this is one of these things that Galfrey needs to know. We met at Defender's Heart. Never imagined you make me the commander.
Some actions may be deemed bold, or even extreme. And beyond those, there are some you might call the Queen's last resort. I am not a simple monarch. I am at war with the Abyss. A war which has lasted over 100 years. I cannot allow myself the luxury of caution. In you, I see a chance. And I am willing to stake everything on it.
It's interesting that she doesn't define the chance. What chance does she see? And the interesting thing is she says, I'm at war with the Abyss. So you can infer from that she sees a chance in defeating that. But, as we know, it doesn't necessarily mean that, though. She didn't say, in you I see a chance to win this, in you I see a chance to defeat the Abyss, in you I see a chance to end this. None of that, right? It was just, I see a chance. A chance for what? What is she seeing a chance for? And what are you willing to stake everything on?
However, you cannot blame me for putting you in charge of the crusade. I only formalized what had already happened in the hearts and minds of many. People spoke of the power that descended upon you and helped you save the wardstones from corruption and total destruction. Word of this feat quickly spread far beyond the borders of Mendev. There was no other person who could better fit the role of Knight Commander of the 5th Crusade.
Yeah, I have many thoughts, but what are you gonna do?
Overlooking a spot of insubordination just at the moment. However, I shall answer you. I shall prepare the defenses at Nerosian and all the other border cities and plan the future of the 5th Crusade. Does that satisfy your curiosity, Knight Commander?
I don't know how that's insubordination. I really and truly do not. Given that we're asking a legitimate question from the commander of the 5th Crusade to the Queen, what are you going to do? Right? As we should know each other's plans in theory in order to make this more successful. How can Abby support her if she doesn't know what the Queen's plans are? And vice versa after a fact. So the Aeon Path says, does the Church of Iomade really spend so much effort prolonging your life just so you can watch the battle from the rear? You're the living banner of the crusade. It's your duty to stay on the front lines. You can also say, my queen, I'd ask you to remain with us. The Dresden campaign is the hope of the crusade and the blessing of Iomade that you carry. No, so we're not gonna go with the good. The lawful one is interesting. On one hand, I know Abby wouldn't want Galfrey anywhere near this crusade. But on the other token, this is the queen. This is something that she should be doing. And it will needle Abby that the queen isn't doing her part, if you will. So I could, see this going either way. But this also, I think, will needle her. That does the Church of Iomade really spend that much effort prolonging your life?
Time since anyone tried to talk to me quite like that.
I know.
Like an interrogator at a trial.
I love everything about that response.
I don't know if you realize what you're suggesting.
Oh no, I know.
If our enemies in the depths of the wound were to discover that I was with your army, they would immediately send their most vicious demons to attack. They would stop at nothing to be rid of me, and thereby sow chaos across Mendev.
Isn't Mendev already in chaos after everything? Like, seriously.
But you are right.
I know.
I shouldn't be sitting it out in the rear. I am a warrior queen and a queen of warriors. Yet my fighters have forgotten what I look like. Fine. I shall join the crusade, but on my own terms. First, I shall assemble my entourage and lead the parade out of the camp. I shall catch up with you later, along with a few hand-picked bodyguards. We'll change our armor, and I'll become a knight of a minor order and join the troops incognito. Until we approach Dresden, no one should know I am among you. But before we storm the city, I shall show myself to the troops and join the battle. Let it be a surprise for the demons. I hope you won't complain of my company on the road, Commander, since you were the one who insisted upon it. Do you have any other questions?
Nope, not at all.
Splendid. Ah, yes. We have one final matter to attend to. It should be rather enjoyable. Count, there you are. You received my instruction?